What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to have you here because this is going to be New Comic Book Day, June the 9th of 2021. And this is a pretty eclectic mix of a couple different books, including some number ones. I'm excited to get into it, but before I ramble too long, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, connect, follow, do whatever you do on the platform you're on. Just look for my furry face inside of an orange circle and click all the buttons next to it. So this list, I'm just going to run through in the order that I wrote them down as I went through the complete list of books that are out every week. That is available as a podcast, and that has every book that's coming out, my thoughts and opinions on each of them. You can find that in the podcast feed on Podchaser under Cosmic Campfire. All the episodes are there. You can also look on anchor.fm or check my website, newguy.com, and you can find all the links there. The first book this week is Black Cotton, number 3. This is from Scout Comics, and it's written by Brian Hawkins, Patrick Foreman, and Marco Perugini. And I talked with Brian and Patrick on my channel. So, feel free to give that a look and learn a little bit more about what they're trying to do and what they're trying to create with this comic. But it's really interesting. It's a really cool world. I can't believe we're only on number 3. It seems like this series has been around for so long now. And I think it really generates some conversation. It's been some really interesting stuff they've explored. And so I highly suggest Black Cotton, number 3. 6 Sidekicks of Trigger KEATON, number 1. This is a Skybound book by Kyle Starks and Chris Schweizer. I'm excited for this one because I like Kyle Starks. He wrote a book called Sex Castle that I've never read, but it's very popular on this podcast called Comics for the Apocalypse. And so it comes up quite a bit there. I know him for writing like the first 30 issues or more of the Rick and Morty comic book. So he also wrote Assassination. So I know him for writing like these great like action comedy kind of things. And the 6 Sidekicks of Trigger KEATON is about like I believe he was he played a cowboy on TV, and he's murdered, and so they're kind of going through sidekicks from his different elements of his career, I guess, and trying to figure out who may have wanted Trigger KEATON dead. So I guess it's kind of a whodunit in that sense. Maybe with, I haven't seen it yet, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or something like that, where they're kind of mixing the idea of like making movies and the movie business. They're combining that with like real life events and stuff too. So it sounds great. I'm really excited for it. I'm definitely going to be checking that out. It's 6 Sidekicks of Trigger KEATON. Space Bastards number 6 is out from Humanoids. I've been talking about this one as I've been reading it, and I really enjoy it. I think it's a great series. It has cool artwork. It's a lot of fun. It's just like over the top, hilarious, and it doesn't really feel like it's trying to necessarily like kind of do like a shock jock kind of thing, but just like an over the topness in general, and it's a lot of fun. So I definitely suggest Space Bastards. Check that one out. The Duplicant number 2. I talked with the creator Karla Nappi on my channel. So again, you can always check out that video. I really enjoyed talking with her. I think she has a great premise here. It's kind of crazy that she wrote all of this stuff, and it deals in like a pandemic and how to like save lives through different things. And like there's a lot of things that touch on what is going on, but she started writing this, I believe she told me like in 2017. So it's just really cool how relevant it is while actually kind of being a different take on where things could have went, because she was kind of creating it out of her own fantasy and not as like something looking back on the events that happened, So it's a really cool book. I think the sci-fi elements and the world of it are really cool and create a really unique vibe. So that's the Duplicant number 2. And it's from Second Sight, who appear on this list, I think, again. Or maybe they already have. But they're putting out quite a few books these days, so definitely keep an eye out for Second Sight Publishing. They're, up and coming, I guess. Freak Snow #1. This is Behemoth Comics. All I really know about this one is it's kind of like a weird frozen post-apocalyptic scenario kind of thing. But I want to check it out. It's a #1. It's from Behemoth Comics, who have been putting out some pretty good stuff lately. So, and new #1s, I mean, that's always fun to check out and find something new. So, I'm planning to give this one a try. I really don't know how much I expect out of it, but we'll see if it's one of those like pleasantly surprising kind of things. Eve #2 will be out from Boom Studios. The first one was out last month, and I enjoyed it, but I'm really ready to get into the adventure. It felt like there was a lot of maneuvering to get exposition out on the table and let you know like why things are the way they are, but it really seems like it's setting up a solid adventure that's not going to be bogged down with like trying to remind you of what's going on. We got all of that stuff out of the way. We don't need to learn about the world. We need to learn how to survive, and I'm in for that. That's pretty cool. I'm interested in this bear and seeing how that's going to play out, and I think that's where the heart of the series is. I think that it felt like the creators were trying to get a lot of the extra out of the way so they could get into the fun of putting you out into the world with Eve and the bear. And so I'm excited to get into the adventure and see how that plays out in this next issue. Magic the Gathering #3 will be out. This is probably my last one on this. Honestly, I haven't even read the second one. The first one was like, but I do enjoy opening the polybagged variants. It's kind of like opening a booster pack, It's just a lot of fun. And so I'm excited to grab #3, and then I'll probably read all 3 of those. And if I'm hooked by the end of the third one, sure, I'll stick around for the series. But honestly, I don't anticipate that to happen. I expect to read those 3 and find that it's fine. So that's a Taylor Winder reference, so check out his channel as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, Magic the Gathering, it's fine, but I'm probably not going to stick around longer than that. Mighty Morphin #8 will be out. This one will be interesting. The last one kind of seemed to lose a lot of people, and I fully expect Ryan Parrott to come back and defend all of everything that we read in the last one. He tends to do that. He'll take this really weird left turn, and then in the next issue kind of try to explain it and present his defense. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I really enjoyed him on Go-Go Power Rangers 1-20, plus Forever Rangers, but outside of that, his writing is just getting a little too inconsistent, and Power Rangers just hasn't been the same since the relaunch. Like those first 2 or 3 issues I was in, after that it was pretty much just Power Rangers for me, and even now it's like getting a little bit harder to stick by Power Rangers, especially if Radiant Black takes off in the direction that 4th issue set it up for, then I might just read that and drop Rangers. I mean, it's kind of hard to keep picking up Rangers because it's getting more and more stale. So we'll see what happens, but I'm interested to see in #8 how Parrott's going to try to defend his decisions in the characterizations in that last issue. Checkmate #1 will be out from DC Comics. This is Brian Michael Bendis. Honestly, I put this on the list, and now I'm debating whether I really want to, because once I read Justice League, it just felt very inconsistent, and the only other Bendis experience I had was like Legion of Superheroes or whatever in Future State, another very inconsistent book. I know everybody's kind of like, back and forth on Bendis, and I really don't want to be part of that party, like I would like to either be on one side or the other, but I don't know, it's fine. Anyway, so yeah, like Checkmate 1, I don't know. It's on this list. I might read it and see if I really want to pick it up, but I can't promise that I'm going to grab it. But it's worth noting because it is expanding the DC universe, and I believe this is a Green Arrow-led title. So that might be where a lot of people want to go. I know Green Arrow is very popular, and people have been waiting for something to happen with him in this new era. Justice League, The Last Ride #2, also from DC Comics. This is this Chip Zdarsky Justice League story that he's trying to tell. I thought the first one was awesome. I really enjoyed it. A lot of characters showed up that I didn't expect. There was a lot of characterizations that seem very strange, but also seem very justifiable. So I'm excited to find out more about the backstories there and what created the characters that we're staring down in Last Ride. But overall, I really enjoyed the first one. I'm excited to unravel a little more of the mystery of what's going on in that world. Future State Gotham number 2. This one we talked about on the Thursday night chat. It seemed like everybody really loved the first one. It's black and white. It's done in a manga style. It's very reminiscent of Akira, and it's just really cool. Like, there's some great action scenes in here, and because of the clean paneling and the black and white nature of it, it really just like amplifies the action, and it's a lot of like hyper action, hyper violence, really cool characters just doing cool things, and so but it's also not hollow. That's kind of one of the things that anime and manga do so well, is those clean panels like heighten the action, but it also never comes off as being like kind of empty and hollow. And I felt a lot of that in this Future State Gotham book. So hopefully we'll find out who that is in the alley that he's talking to, and what all the mysteries are there, what's going on with the rest of the Bat family, and all those end scenes right there with, the family on the rooftop. What are they talking about? And that crazy backup story, I wonder if there's going to be more to that, because I don't know what happened, but it was all awesome to read. So I'm excited for Future State Gotham number 2. Hopefully we'll get to learn a lot more about that world. The Joker number 4. This one has been pretty decent. I really enjoyed... The first one was awesome. The second one was a little... Like, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as good as the first one. But then the third one really brought it back around. I like the way it played out. I like the internal dialogue we're getting with Gordon. I like the characterizations we're getting here. I like that this is a Gordon-centric story, and that he seems to have the upper hand on pretty much everybody else in the story. It really makes him feel like the center of the universe and the protagonist of the story, while there's so many other A-list characters around him. So I love the way that they've been telling this story. I like the way it unfolds. I really like the imagery, especially when they're using Joker as more like a metaphor for fear, and kind of some of the cooler visuals that occurred in the first and third issues with that. So I'm enjoying Joker. I'm excited to see what the next one has on offer. And then the last book on the list is Detective Comics 1037. And honestly, I don't know what to expect out of this one, because this, at least the way that it reads in the advertising and stuff, like they're splitting the book in half. We got John Ridley writing one story with Mariko Tamaki writing the other, and it seems like they're more of a half and half kind of thing, like Justice League instead of Justice League Dark, instead of the way that they were doing it, where it was like a full story with the backup. So yeah, I don't know. Dan Mora doesn't. I think he did a variant cover, but he's not listed for what do you call them? The inside pages, He's listed as like a variant cover artist. So they have Carl Mostert, who I know from The Man Who Effed Up Time with John Layman. I really enjoyed that book. His art was very unique and quirky, and added to the zaniness, I guess, of that story. I don't know how it's going to come off in Batman here, though. But I'm always interested in finding out. At the same time, you have John Ridley is teamed up with, I believe it's Dustin Nguyen, that works with Jeff Lemire on Ascender, Descender. So that's going to be an interesting way to take that story. So I'm going to check it out. I enjoyed the last 3 issues of Detective Comics, so I see no reason to stop now. But this does seem to be some sort of weird thing where they're splitting up the story and stuff. And does that mean that Dan Mora is off? Was he just on 3 issues or something? What's going on? I don't know, but I'm going to check it out and see, and I'll report back, I guess. So that's the full list for this week. It's still shorter than it has been like a couple of weeks back and stuff. I'm excited for a lot of these books, but a quick top 3 here. I think Justice League Last Ride is on that list. Actually, you know what? Future State Gotham is probably my most excited, most anticipated DC title. Eve, I really enjoyed the first one, other than a couple of little things. But like I said, I think that's out of the way. So once we get on the adventure, I think that's when it's going to get really fun. And so I'm excited for that one. And then the 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. I'm kind of a softie for those types of stories where they're mixing like actors that played characters that are, like some of that kind of stuff is always like fun and interesting to me. So Six Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton is probably my third top anticipated book of the week. So let me know in the comments below, what are you guys excited for? What's on my list that you disagree with? What do you think I need to add to my list? And again, let me know what you're most excited for this week. I'm always excited to hear what people are reading that I'm totally missing out on. So that's all I have for you today. Until next time, keep flipping pages.
You